All right, man. I got another request from a supporter by the name of Gordy. Gordy, I shouted him out in the last video. Whichever video I posted first, I put Gordy's channel on my screen so y'all can see who he is. He told me to react to how the 2004 NHL lockout changed the league forever. So what happened around this time though? What do they mean by like lockout? What do they mean by lockout? This should be good though, man. We're gonna check this out. Like I tell you every video, keep commenting more stuff that's hockey related for me to react to. And so far y'all been doing good at recommending me some all-stars also. So yeah, man, we're gonna keep on pushing these hockey reactions out and
down to just 37 days.
Y'all help me out, keep sending me stuff, man.
No other choice.
A lockout in professional sports occurs when the league's management prevents players from participating due to unresolved disputes between players' unions and league officials. Unlike a strike in which players collectively choose not to play, a lockout is instigated by the league itself. Typically, it arises when both parties need help finding common ground on player contracts, salary structures, or working conditions. As a result, well, the regular game.
How much do hockey players get paid?
Affecting fans and the entire sport.
Do the NHL even pay good?
But if you guys have been subscribed to the channel for a while, you know I used to do compilation videos. So if that's something you're still interested in, subscribe to my second channel, where I'll be posting similar content.
Okay.
Thanks and enjoy the video. Several notable lockouts
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
History of professional sports. These instances include the 1972 MLB strike, the 1981 MLB strike, the 1982 NFL strike, the 1987 NFL strike, the 1994-1995 NHL lockout, the 1994-95 MLB strike, the 1998-99 NBA lockout, the 2004-2005 NHL lockout, and the 2012-2013 NHL lockout. These events reflect a complex relationship between the players and the league management, and if you were paying attention, you would have realized that there have actually been 3 NHL lockouts, and they all came within 30 years of each other.
Wow.
First, there was the lockout of 1994. Similar to the NHL lockout of 2004-2005, a significant topic of debate during this period was the introduction of a salary cap. The team owners were pretty gung-ho about having this cap on players' salaries. Still, the players weren't too
salary cap. What do they mean by that?
On top of that, the NHL proposed a luxury tax, basically a fine imposed by the league on players earning more than the league's average. But the players' union, known as the NHLPA, saw this as just another form of a salary cap and gave it a big thumbs down. This lockout stretched out for 3 months, 1 week, and 3 days.
Wow.
From October 1st, 1994.
So the players just didn't play for 3 months?
1995. Because of this lockout,
there was no NHL games for 3 months?
68 games, including the much-loved All-Star Game. Interestingly, though, unlike the league's later lockouts,
they have All-Star games in the NHL?
Through training camp, thinking the season would start as usual, but as training camp wrapped up, it became clear that severe talks about labor issues were just around the corner. More recently, we experienced the lockout of 2012-2013. The 2012-2013 NHL lockout was a big argument between the NHL and the players group, the NHLPA. On September 16, 2012, the old NHL agreement expired. The team owners left.
How does that work when you have one player hitting a goal for the team? What is that? Is that like for technical fouls or what?
On October 11, 2012, got cut short from 82 to just 48 games. So what exactly were they fighting about?
Damn.
The team owners wanted to change many things, like how much money the players get from the league's earnings, how long player contracts can be, even how players can become free agents. But the players had their own ideas. They wanted more money sharing between the owners and a fixed limit on player salaries, not tied to how much the league makes. And after lots of back and forth, they finally reached an agreement on January 6, 2013. It took until January 12, 2013 for everyone to put their signatures on the paper, ending 119 days of uncertainty since the previous deal expired. In between those two lockouts was, of course, the NHL lockout of 2004-2005. But before we dive right into it, let's understand the times. In 2004, the Stanley Cup champion was the Tampa Bay Lightning, led by their captain, Dave Andreychuk, defeating the Flames in a controversial 7 games. The best player in the league was Marty St. Louis, who led the league with 94 points, and the best goaltender in the league was Marty Brodeur, who played 75 games and had a .917 save percentage. Now, let's all understand what this lockout was about. In 2004, the NHL, led by Commissioner Gary Bettman, aimed to revamp how players were paid. They wanted player salaries to match the league's revenues, hoping to provide teams with more financial stability. However, under Bob Goodenough's leadership, the NHLPA strongly opposed this idea. Before the start of the 2004 season, NHL teams spent 76% of their income on player salaries, way more than other sports leagues. Around July 20th, 2004, the league presented 6 options to solve this problem. These included a firm salary cap like the NFL, a more flexible salary cap.
How do you become a professional hockey player? Like, what's the process?
To the MLS. Although some saw
y'all answer me that too. Comment down below.
A hard salary cap without revenue sharing was designed to win over big market teams opposing Bettman during the '94 lockout. The NHLPA needed to be convinced. Rejecting all 6 of the NHL proposals, the NHLPA wanted to keep the existing system where players and teams negotiated contracts independently. Despite the financial disagreements, it was evident that several teams were financially struggling, with some even declaring bankruptcy or selling key players in what they called fire sales. Interestingly, some smaller market teams, including the Pittsburgh Penguins and specific Canadian teams, almost saw the lockout as a potential positive, assuming they'd make more money by skipping a season. Before the extensive lockout began, the NHLPA made a proposal in late 2003. Their plan was a mix of ideas: splitting revenue, introducing a luxury tax, temporarily reducing player salaries by 5%, and changing how new players entered the league. However, the league needed to be on board. They believed the plan favored players too much and wanted to maintain the status quo. Just before the lockout began on September 16, 2004, the NHLPA returned with a new proposal. Word had it that it resembled their earlier idea, but the league needed to be convinced. They considered this new version even worse than the 2003 proposal. This put negotiations on hold until early December. This time, the NHLPA brought up a luxury tax and suggested players should take a one-time 24% pay cut. The NHL again rejected this, offering an alternative that the NHLPA promptly turned down. On February 9th, Bettman warned the league that the season was doomed if they didn't reach an agreement by the weekend. When talks collapsed between the NHL and the NHLPA the next day, it was clear that no progress had been made. As February 14th rolled around, players said that they'd accept a $52 million salary cap if it wasn't tied to league revenues. The league offered a $40 million salary cap, but the players rejected it. The following day, Bettman presented Goodenow with a final proposal: a $42.5 million cap plus $2.2 million in benefits, setting an 11 o'clock deadline the next morning for a decision. The NHLPA then countered with a $49 million salary cap, but the league rejected it. As the 11 o'clock deadline passed without a resolution, Bettman announced on February 16, 2005, that the season was canceled.
Wow.
As difficult as today is, the reality is we had no choice.
Damn, so how does that work? Like, how does this work now if they cancel a season?
Majority. The next day, the 30-team owners unanimously approved it, ending the 310-day lockout. This new agreement included an annual salary cap adjustment to ensure players received 54% of NHL revenues, a minimum salary requirement, and a guaranteed player contracts. As revenues grew, so would players' earnings, with the top 10 high revenue.
I don't know how none of these contracts works. It sound
the initial year of the salary
complex. Like, I don't.
Featured a $39 million.
I thought they got paid based on what the league makes, though.
Going on around the league, there were some changes to be due. Bob Goodenow, the head of the NHL,
because hockey don't really make that much money, huh? It's not really that big. I mean, out here in the United States.
Official agreement. Ted Saskin, who used to deal with business for the NHLPA, took over as the big boss on November 25th, 2005.
Because are there any teams out here in the United States that's playing right now?
Promoted to deputy commissioner once the lockout was over. Both he and Saskin were big players in making the deal happen. Some teams also got some benefits from the lockout, like better money management and higher values. Most groups, like the Pittsburgh Penguins, got more valuable thanks to deals with NBC, Versus, and the NHL Network launch. Those Penguins, for example, went up by a whopping 161% because of some money changes, winning the Sidney Crosby sweepstakes, and building the new Console Energy Center. International hockey also boosted as many NHL players went to play in Europe. The popular spots were Russia, Sweden, Finland, and Switzerland. North American leagues like the AHL and ECHL also had an increase in fans and revenue. So, although there was no NHL hockey for 310 days, the NHL lockout of 2004 caused the sport to grow and expand more than ever.
He has another video saying how Sidney Crosby's career was hold on, it's not how his career was robbed by concussions.
Few names hold as much weight as
wow.
Sidney Crosby's.
Yeah, that's crazy though, man. I wasn't even aware of the NBA and football and all that as far as like the lockout. So I heard the NBA is going towards that right now because the ratings is so low for the NBA. NBA got so soft though, man, like hella soft. So wow, this is another dope channel right here though. This channel was cool though, man. I'm glad y'all recommended me to this channel too. Yeah, the lockout thing is crazy. Like I said, I didn't know anything about the whole lockout until I heard something about the NBA, but yeah, that's crazy though. Y'all let me know how you get into the NBA too. Like, I mean, I said the NBA. How do you get into the NFL? How do you get into the NHL? Like, what is the process of becoming a professional hockey player though? Like, is there like an age cap? Do you have to go through college like basketball? Or like, y'all comment down below more information on that. I might try to look something up, but I want to hear from y'all though. And then I'll try to look some info on that, man. I may want to go to the league, man. Watching hockey so much. But man, roll to 10K, man. Y'all subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm out, man.